1, 2, 3.
Hot chocolate with Paul!
Awesome, thank you. Hi, this is Hot Chocolate with Paul for Wednesday, January 15th, 2025. I'm on a cruise. I'm halfway across the Atlantic Ocean on my way to Lisbon, Portugal as my first stop. If you've been watching my series, Budget Journey to Europe, this is number 5 in the series. The first 4 episodes show me leaving from my home, going to Miami, and then getting on board the Norwegian Cruise Line's Bliss. So I thought I would start off today by talking about what it's like to be a solo cruiser on a cruise ship. That doesn't necessarily mean you're a single. It just means you're traveling by yourself with no other travel partners, and you get on the ship and you have a room to yourself, and maybe you get some social interaction with some other people. And that's basically what I wanted to talk about. So I'm traveling solo. My wife Stacy was not able to go on this particular cruise. We do travel a lot together, and we do have a cruise booked for February of this year, next month, and another cruise booked for August. So I miss her. I know she misses me, but we are making the best out of the situation we're in. And I'm happy to be on a cruise ship. It's my happy place. And Stacy, of course, is doing some things with friends and other things back at home. So as of right now, looks like we're about 2/3, maybe 2/3 of the way across the Atlantic Ocean. I did give a tour of my cabin before in an earlier episode. I believe it was episode number 3 in this series. If you'd like to go back and take a tour of both the ship and the solo cabin that I'm in right now. In the earlier episode, I showed what this room looked like when you first walk in, and it's in beautiful condition. But now I'd like to show you what it's like when yours truly has lived in it for almost a week now. So this is the vanity. This is what you see when you first walk in. And over on the right here is the shower. Now I use the shower both for cleaning myself and for cleaning my clothes. And that's probably one of the biggest criteria of what makes this workable for me, because I did a backpack. I packed a backpack and a carry-on, and that's all I had on the plane, so I didn't have to do any checked bags. So I'm not going to hang on to my dirty laundry over there for too long, but basically what I do is first I soak it in the sink right here, and then when I take a shower, I take my laundry in there with me and rinse it all off with a shower head. And then I hang it up to dry. So I got several places in the room where I'm hanging up clothes to dry. You know, when they're really soaked, that's where they start, because they're dripping all over the place. I wring them out the best that I can. And then when they're a little bit drier, I move them over to some other places like these. And I've got a closet here. This is some laundry that is almost dry, but needs just a little bit more time. I found that it seems to take anywhere from 24 to 48 hours for something to completely dry. Of course, the bed has the lived-in look right now. As I record this, I recently woke up from a nap, and it's been very relaxing. Since there's no windows in this cabin, I usually like to keep the TV on for something. Right now, it's showing the picture of looking out the front of the boat. And over here is another screen that's supposed to simulate a window looking out the side of the boat. I don't think it's raining outside right now, but you see all those drops. I believe that's all from waves that were splashing up on the side. So I think that's what's making that wet, because I don't believe it was raining today. This is a small cabin. It's only made for one person, but it suits me just fine. I have been shown into some other people who are not familiar with these studio cabins. That's the toilet on the right there by that door there. I call it a phone booth with a toilet. That's really the only complaint I would have about this room is I wouldn't mind a little more space in there. The solo cabins, the solo studio cabins are a section of the ship. They're all inside rooms. None of them have windows. And that's not to be confused with what they call solo balconies or solo ocean views. Those are regular rooms on the side of the ship that they actually designated for one person. But if you walk into them, you will see that they still have a full-size bed. They still have the Pullman beds that can drop out of the ceiling, for example. But for the purpose of that particular cruise and how they do the pricing and such, those cabins were designated for one person and only one person is staying in them. So what I'm staying in, on this particular ship, the Bliss, there's 3 floors, decks 10, 11, and 12, that have a section on the inside of the ship where there are solo studio cabins like I just showed you. And we all have access to our private solo studio lounge. I did show the lounge earlier in episode 3, but I just want to clarify that that lounge is intended for solo travelers. So it's a quieter space where we can go in and just hang out. Some people go in there just to sit quietly, read a book, listen to music on their headphones while other people get involved in some conversations. I have spent some time in there. I've made some friends on this cruise. Very happy about that. And we are allowed to bring guests in there if we wish to. Some of the cabins that are designated as solo balcony or solo ocean view or even solo inside, for example, they give those people access to the solo studio lounge if they pay the appropriate price or get the correct category, however they work it out. So I have never seen it too crowded in there. I will say that on this particular voyage, I think there's at least 1,000 solo cruisers on this voyage. And they tried to hold the meeting in another location on the ship. And that meeting was overcrowded, in my opinion. I think they should have it in a bigger room, but you get what you can, I guess. So as far as meetings go, we meet every day at 5 o'clock in the evening, wherever the meeting is designated to be held. The solo studio lounge is too small for all of those people to fit in, so that's why they have it in a different room. I have been on other ships, other Norwegian ships, where there were few enough solo cruisers that we all did fit into the lounge. And I'm thinking somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 people. And it seems reasonable to accommodate in the solo studio lounge for a meeting. So what happens at those meetings? Well, for one thing, it's an opportunity to network and get to know some other solo cruisers. Once again, you're traveling by yourself. You would like to be able to meet other people and find people with some similar interests as you and go find some things to do together on the ship. And then they coordinate some activities for us. If solo cruisers want to get together and go to dinner with other solo cruisers, they have sign-up sheets, and they have a designated set of tables set aside each night, in our case for 5:30. So any solo cruiser that wants to be a part of that can come in and sign up for one of those spots, and then we all go down to dinner at 5:30 together. So it's very often a lively group, get a lot of good conversations going. And some other activities include going to the theater to see a show together. What they may do is block out some rows of seats so that solo cruisers can sit together in the theater. I have not done that on this particular ship, but I have done that in the past when I've been on other solo cruises. Even though I gave a tour of the studio lounge in a previous video, I'm going to go ahead and give another tour right now. So heading out of the room, I've got my room key. Go out, go down the hall. It's a very short walk for me. I'm on the same level. I'm on deck 11. Decks 10 and 12 have access to the studio lounge by a staircase. Just a quick peek in here. It's pretty quiet at the moment. There's food available and some coffee. I didn't want to disturb anybody that was already sitting in there quietly, so I'll just finish up my comments here. Yeah, that's the studio lounge. It's a nice place to hang out. And there's some games in the corner as well. I'll continue this video with other activities on the ship. Just walking across the deck with one of the groups that I'm hanging out with. It's wavy out there. All right. I'm having onion soup for dinner tonight. Caesar salad. New York strip steak for tonight.
You're at sea 9 months.
Creme brulee for dessert.
I've never seen anybody do one of those.
Going to see the show Icons. It has music from the last 6 decades, from Dolly to Gaga to Billy Joel to Elton John. It's morning time now, and I'm in the ship's buffet having breakfast. And I can tell you that the ship has been on an eastbound course, almost the same direction, and we are on our 7th day at sea, going in the same direction. So with essentially not much of a turn, the sun has been rising in about the same location relative to the ship every morning and going across the sky, and the sunset is in the same direction at night. Excuse me. So it's been interesting seeing. Well, tomorrow we'll make 8 days at sea, so it's been interesting. Just looking around at the quietness of the morning in the buffet. This time before everybody starts coming in. This is the observation lounge that we're overlooking, and the sun should be rising within the next hour. It's been like the movie Groundhog Day. Every day you wake up, same thing, same routine. I'm having dinner in the buffet because I want to eat early so I can go see a show with the Beatles again. So, kind of a mixed bag of what I'm eating. I wanted to give some observations about some of the things that I've been seeing on this. There's hardly any kids. I mean, they're here, but there's got to be, I don't think I've seen more than 20 or 30 kids on the entire cruise. And they're not wandering around in groups like they usually do. All the kids that I've seen have been basically with their families. I don't remember if I said this before, but because we had some unexpected nice weather days, some people didn't even pack for nice weather days, so they just had to deal with what they had. It's pretty weird being on a cruise ship where I haven't seen land since this past Saturday when we left, and today's Saturday again, so it's been a whole week since I've seen land. We have not seen any ships around either. There was a cargo ship that was spotted yesterday as I record this. Somebody took a picture of it, so I didn't even see it myself. I'm in the theater now for the Beatles experience, and I was the second person in line. So here's a look at the stage.
We saw both the Pakusch
and sitting in the front row.
To be alone. But the end of the day, I stand because you're on your
Come on, you like to sing it? Your turn. Come on, smile, everybody. You're on vacation. Smile.
see that girl. Watch that scene. Dancing queen.
You are awesome. And now, I present to you your new cruise director.
It's a beautiful, cool morning out on the Atlantic. One more day at sea before we get to our first port. I haven't seen land in over a week. For people who like to look for ducks, I just found one. I'm just going to leave it there, let somebody else take it. This is where we are at the moment. About 24 hours from now, we should be arriving in Lisbon, Portugal. Here's a peek at tonight's dinner.
They've been wanting this. So,
That's a look at life aboard the Norwegian Bliss as we cross the Atlantic Ocean on some days at sea. The next episode of Hot Chocolate with Paul will be part 6 of 10 as we go to Lisbon, Portugal and Vigo, Spain. That'll be coming out Saturday, January 18th. That's all I have for today. Have a good day.